Just got my 14 Pro Max literally off the FedEx truck. Now it's back here on my workbench over my shoulder. And so today I'm going to do a very quick first look video to find out how big the phone is and whether any of my current accessories will work with it. All right, here's a quick unboxing that I probably normally wouldn't show because, I mean, it's a phone, you know what you get. However, something weird here is that this phone is supposed to be silver. This doesn't look silver to me. This looks white. Now, I ordered a silver phone and they confirmed it, and I don't think they even sell a white phone, so I guess this is silver, but it doesn't look silver. Let me know in the comments below if you think that looks silver. Not a huge deal because I put a case on my phone anyway, so it's covered, but kind of weird, kind of weird. Oh, and we get the lightning cable with this too, but come on, that should be a USB-C. We gotta get USB-C. So the 14 Pro Max looks almost exactly like the 13 Pro Max, and it weighs 240 grams, just like the 13 Pro Max. Now the 12 Pro Max is a little bit lighter. It weighs 228 grams, although the body is still pretty much the same size. The 11 Pro Max is actually even lighter at 226 grams, but it's also a smaller body, and it's a different style. Now we'll take a look at each one of these in a little more detail. So again, the 14 and the 13 look pretty much the exact same. They feel the same in your hand. The main difference is the actual camera bump, but the thickness feels the same. The edges are the same. Everything is the same, except for the inner workings of the phone, and then again, the camera bump. And that is because the 14 Pro Max got new sensors, larger sensors, which I'll definitely talk a lot about in a future video. And so the 14 Pro Max versus the 12 Pro Max, very similar story here. Body style, exactly the same. Camera bump, bigger on the 14, and it's even more noticeable than the 13. But besides the camera bump, again, the 12 and the 14 are pretty much the exact same phone. Although, as mentioned earlier, the 14 does weigh about 12 grams more, probably in the camera bump and the sensors. The quality of the phone is better in the 14, but the outside looks pretty much the same. And now the 11 Pro Max versus the 14, you are going to start seeing physical differences. Not only is the phone bigger, the camera bump is a lot bigger, but additionally the 11 is thinner, the edges are rounded compared to the 12, 13, and 14 have the square edges, and it feels a lot different in your hand. Even though the phones are similar size, the 11 feels considerably smaller in your hand. But the camera bump, it is considerably bigger on the 14. I would say that's 1.5, really actually 2 times bigger than it was on the 11. So when I got my 13 last year, I immediately grabbed the 12 Pro Max cases I had and I put it on, and it worked fine. So I wanted to try that with the 14 to the 13. And this is a Moment case, a 13 Pro Max case, and unfortunately it doesn't fit. Well, actually it fits the phone just fine, but the camera bump, it doesn't fit around the camera bump. And so at the moment, no pun intended, I'm going to have to wait for the Moment case coming for the actual 14 Pro Max. So the case didn't work, so you can pretty much bet the cages aren't going to work either. But I did want to try them. And the small rig cage, while the phone fits in there, you do get some vignetting. And so it kind of works, but I really would say it doesn't work. And then the Beast cage doesn't work at all. I couldn't even get the phone in the cage, so don't try that because again, you don't want to scratch up your lenses. But then this small rig cage here, it's actually a universal mount. It does work. Now, you would assume it works because it's universal in quotes, but I wanted to make sure, and it does work well. That goes for the Beast Grip Pro as well. This is a very popular case, been around for years. It too is universal. Now, it's a little bit snug with these larger phones, but it does work well. And then one I've been using a lot the last year is the Moment MagSafe cage. It works with the iPhone 12 or later because again, it's MagSafe, and this phone works very well with it. Now the last test I'm going to do in this video is looking at a gimbal. This is the DJI OM4 SE, and if you've used this with the 13 Pro Max, you know that it works pretty well, but it gets a little bit heavy, especially if you add any accessories at all. So this gimbal is fine and it works here with the 14 Pro Max, but really it's for a bare bones setup. You don't want to add any accessories. You might be able to put an ND filter on there, but really that's even pushing it. And so for a simple phone only setup, this does work and I'm glad to see it. So overall, the camera bump on the 14 does cause some issues with the accessories, which I kind of figured, but now I've confirmed it. And so look for new videos from me covering all aspects of the 14 Pro Max and its video and filmmaking features. I'll be doing comparisons, etc., just like I've done on past phones. And I'm really looking forward to checking out 4K cinematic mode along with that new 48mm 2x telephoto. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to do that so you don't miss those videos. But otherwise, thanks for watching. This is Blake Calhoun, and I will see you in the next one. But yeah, this is a white phone. This is not silver. Where's my silver phone?